So I'm Tara Schmallenberg. I'm president of the SANP. And for Nurses Week, we wanted to reach out to some of our nurse practitioner colleagues across the province and ask them a little bit about what they do on a day-to-day. And today with us, we have Moni Snell, who is a neonatal nurse practitioner in Regina.
Thanks for asking me to do this, Tara. Unlike the primary care NPs, I'm in a specialty role. And so there isn't probably a lot of awareness about that because we are very small numbers. It was a dream of mine for many, many years to become a neonatal nurse practitioner, but back then there wasn't a lot of options. There was 2 programs in Canada, one in Edmonton at the U of A and one at McMaster in Hamilton. And both programs required you to move to those cities for 2 years, which means you have to give up your income, you're a full-time student. And for me, being at the time of life where my children, my 2 boys were in high school, and I am one of the main wage earners in my family, that was not a reality that I could make happen. What was fortuitous, and I believe people are put in our way to help us grow, is that I was a staff nurse on the board of the National Neonatal Nurses and Nurse Practitioners in the US at the time. And so I was sitting at a board table with these ladies and gentlemen who were the leaders in my field. They're the people that I would hear speak at conferences, I read their journal articles, I buy their books that they publish. And all of a sudden I'm sitting at the same table and they made me feel so valued because they needed the staff nurse perspective at the board level, which is often lost on a lot of boards. And as I sat on the board, the president, who was the head of the Stony Brook Medical University neonatal program out of New York, said, I want you to become an NNP and I'm going to mentor you and I'm going to take you into my program. And it was an online program, 2 years, and then you could do all your neonatal clinical training under the neonatologist in your own unit or under other neonatal nurse practitioners, which is the preference, but we didn't have any here since I would be the first one. And so that's how I embarked on that journey. The last 2 years working as the nursing educator in the NICU, I started the Stony Brook program. I graduated from that program at the age of 52. So at the age of 50, when I enrolled, a lot of my peers were getting ready to retire. And I had decided I wanted a new adventure, which my husband also thought was crazy. But I graduated, I had to go to the US to write what they call their board exams. And then because there was already existing NNPs who had been licensed through SRNA, the licensing program was a little bit more streamlined for me because they already recognized the Stony Brook program. So that's what I did. I started working in the NICU here. So I did 11 years of full-time. And then as I had 2 granddaughters, I decided it was time to slow down. So 2.5 years ago, I retired, and 3 days I was rehired. Both the U of A and McMaster have made their programs online. Mostly online, I believe. There might be a few times in the 2 or 3 years that you would actually have to be on campus there, but they have made it online and clinical training again in your home unit. So one of our nurses has actually embarked on the U of A program this past year.